Boss is back and welcome back to the channel for a very special Hot Wheel video. Now, in case that you are stumbling upon this video and you've never seen the content that I usually make, which is top drives, just give a brief little introduction about myself. I am a brand new collector. I started collecting Hot Wheels, December of 2023, so it's not even been a year yet, but I feel like it's a great time to make a video like this now because here in Malaysia, the Hot Wheels calendar of 2024 has come to a close. We've gone from A case all the way to Q case, and people here are awaiting the 2025 lineup. Some pretty good stuff in there, like the Mustang GTD and the Proton Saga that's going to be coming out. I think a lot of people are going to be wanting those cars as well, and of course that Supercharger Honda Audi. But today's video is going to be covering the 2024 stuff. I am a new collector. I started collecting Hot Wheels C case of 2024, and I'm just letting you guys know about this information so things later on in the video make sense. For example, right here we have a Honda or Acura NSX, right? And I'm a huge fan of this model, and I'm really surprised that these things are hanging on the pegs all the time in Malaysia. I was like, why? Like, this is a really cool car. And then later on I realized it's because Mattel made like 16,000 recolors of the same car, right? Well, obviously I didn't know that. I'm a brand new collector. This is the first NSX that I ever found, so it means something more to me. But anyway, in today's video I want to be grading and giving my own personal opinions on every single case that came out this year, from case A all the way to case Q, which are my favorites, which aren't my favorites, and basically personally how I would rank every single one. As always, these are my opinions, they're subjective, but I really hope you enjoyed them. So let's get into today's Hot Wheel video. So let's get started. Starting off the year was the 2024 A case, and with the courtesy of the Ministry of Diecast, here is a photo of everything that you can get from the case. Now, obviously I'm not going to be getting all 72 cars, and I'll be cherry picking my favorites to add to the collection, and I will showcase to you what I bought from A case this year. So right here I have 5 cars for you. This isn't the total amount of cars that I bought from A case, but these are the ones that I've left carded. There are a couple more that I've already opened, and I'll let you know which ones are the ones. That being said, I want to let you know when we get into this grading process, I will not be grading the case based off any carryovers. I'll be grading the cases on what is brand new to the case. So for example, in A case, there might be some Q case carryovers from 2023, such things like the Koenigsegg Yamera as well as the Audi 94. I just want to let you guys know when I come to judging these cases, I'm only going to be judging them by what is new to that specific case. So once again, that's just a guideline to let you guys know. Now, this is the 5 cars that I have unpacked, or not unpacked, but bought from A case this year. I am a huge fan of this one, actually. It's the 76 Greenwood Corvette. Now, this shows up twice in the 2024 year. However, this is the only one that I bought. I did not enjoy the gray recolor, which I believe came in H case of this year, but this one I think is really, really beautiful. Now, moving on to the collection, where I also did get myself a Plymouth Barracuda, as you can see over here. My girlfriend is a huge fan of this car too, and it came in the recolor in F case, I believe, in red, and I do have that, which we'll showcase to you later on as well. Then we also have the Ford GT. Now this one is one of 2. I have another Ford GT in my loose collection, which I've already opened, but I am a huge fan of this one. And the other 2 cars that I bought, obviously, is the regular of the Super, which is the Ford Escort RS 2000. I already have 2 of these as well. Again, the other one is already loose in my collection. And last but not least is a 2020 Ram 1500 Rebel, which again, I'm just a huge fan of. So that's A case right there. Now let's look at the rest of A case again in that image. And as you can see, some of the cars that I just didn't decide to buy include things like, that electric Volvo, the Zinger. There was the Dodge Charger, and if you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Dodges, but I just don't like it when they put the rescue livery on it. There were some other things like the Mighty K as well, but honestly, and the Pontiac Firebird, but the Pontiac Firebird doesn't count, right? The Pontiac Firebird was from a previous year, from 2023. Overall, I thought it was a decent case. A case didn't have anything that really stood out to me, I would say. I really did enjoy the Super though. Like, I really wish that I had a Super of this. This is a really beautiful casting. I think it was a brand new casting from 2 years ago or something like that. But yeah, this one is wonderful. That being said though, I think it's a pretty okay case. It's mid. I would give it like mid-tier. Okay. Now, moving on to B case. Again, courtesy of the Ministry of Diecast, here's a photo of everything that you can get from the case. Some pretty cool stuff in here, right? Some JDM, some Porsches, Proton Saga as well, Ford Ranger. Some really, really cool stuff. So let me show you what I got from the case. So once again, I'm only going to be showing you cars that are brand new to case B. So obviously the carryovers from case A will not be included in my judgment for this case. So what I got a pair of Nissan Skyline RS KDR 30s, one of which I do plan to open. I just haven't decided to do that yet. Then moving on, we do have some more over here. 3 other cars. We got the Ford Ranger, the Corvette C2 convertible, as well as the Porsche 911. Okay, so we'll talk about these 5 cars first. Really cool to see this one. I'm really happy. They made a recolor of this in G case and it came in green, but I do prefer the purple with the gold rims. It does remind me of like this is like a LA Lakers version, right, of a Nissan Skyline KDR 30, which I think is pretty cool. So, you know, as Lamley calls it, these are definitely highlights, right? I'm a huge fan of this one too, actually. Ford Ranger Raptor. This also came in a G-Case recolor in blue, but I am a bigger fan of the black one. Of course, that HKS livery comes out really nicely as well, and it contrasts the black really well. Now, I did realize that this is also a pretty popular casting in terms of Mattel liking to reuse it over and over and over. And I gotta say, out of the other variations I've seen online of the 2019 Ford Ranger Raptor, this is probably one of my favorites. So, huge fan of that. Now, here's another one that my girlfriend absolutely loves. I love this one too. It is beautiful. It's a 1972 Corvette Stingray C2. It is beautiful. Now, obviously, I think a lot of you guys know this already, but if you shine a light right there, if you shine like a torch light right down here by this translucent blue circle, the light will actually be shown out from the headlights, which I think is pretty cool. Again, it's a brand new casting from last year, I believe, from the 2023 Hot Wheel year. It's already out in many different colors: white, red, blue, gray. But this is nice. This is nice for sure. And then, of course, with the Porsche 911 Carrera RS as well. I'm a massive Porsche fan, so really happy to get one of these. Honestly, I kind of regret not getting the second one because I would like one outside of the collection as well. I don't have any of these opened yet. But yeah, maybe I'll trade for another one over here. But I do really like this. This has printing on the front, the sides, and even the back, actually, right? And under the ducktail over there. I'm not sure if that is supposed to be. I do not think that is actually an error. Yeah, this is really cool. This is the first time I'm realizing it, but this is a triple print. So front, back, sides. So huge fan of that. Really, really cool. But that is not done for B case yet because there are some 2 heavy hitters that I do want to showcase to you right now. Right here, we've got 2 Honda Civic SIs, right? So these are I don't want to call them the golden nuggets because I've heard, you know, that's a phrase for another car, right? The EK9 that came out like 2 years ago or something like that. So these are really cool. I mean, this exact custom, I guess this exact like paint job, this color scheme, I think is an homage to Too Fast, Too Furious, I believe, because in that huge like JDM scramble, there is a Honda that looks exactly just like this with that carbon fiber hood as well. Again, this is a really awesome casting because it has printing on the front and the back, as you can see over here. Now, obviously, I'm a fan of realism in my Hot Wheels, so I will always value cars that have printing on the front and the back more than something that maybe has, you know, printing on the front and the sides, for example. And I definitely do not enjoy collecting Hot Wheels with no printing on either the front or the back. I think that just takes out, you know, the design, the detail, and of course the realism of it all as well. So anyway, that's B. B was fantastic. B was honestly great. I never got a chance to actually find a Saga because I started collecting during C case, right? And on top of that, you know, living in Malaysia, everybody wants the Saga. So I never got the chance of collecting that, unfortunately. Let me show you everything else that was in the B case of this year. There was obviously that AutoZam that was the Legends Tour winner. There's the Chevrolet Camaro, which is the Super of the case. They also added the Audi e-tron. And what else was new? The Humvee was new, right, to B case as well. Again, I think this was a pretty good case. I mean, again, I'm not going to be judging it by the carryovers, but there were some bangers coming on from A case, but I'm not going to count those. In terms of what was new to B case, I thought it was fantastic. I mean, obviously, it's kind of carried between these right here, right? I would say the Corvette. Basically, everything I bought, because obviously I'm biased like that. But, you know, things like the Ranger Raptors, the Skylines, the Porsches, the Vettes, and of course the Honda, they were all fantastic. So I think B case was a really good case, and I'll definitely put it in high tier. I'll put it in high tier. I'm making this video before I even make my tiers, man. So I don't even know what I'm gonna be naming my tiers yet, but it's definitely like, in my mind, the second highest tier of the year. But anyway, let's move on to C case. Now this case is quite special to me because this is the first case that I ever found. How many cars did I buy from C case? Well, actually more than just 4. Everything that you saw in B case earlier, including things like the Honda, as well as the Skylines and the Rangers, which are now out of frame, all of those cars were actually bought from C case. That being from a C case at least, because this was the first case that I ever found, and this was like the first thing that got me into the collection of Hot Wheels. So what is there to expect from C case? Well, there are 4 cars in terms of what is new to C case. Right here is a custom 68 Camaro. I always call it 69, but I guess it is a 68 Camaro. My girlfriend loves this car as well, and so do I. She bought this for me. This is like the first Hot Wheel I think she bought for me. So this is, well, actually not this exact one. I have 2 of these. Another one is already opened and in my loose collection. So I got one for the carded collection. And then we have this one here. Obviously, I'm a huge Mopar guy, so we've got a Dodge Little Red Express truck. I think this is really, really cool. I know that this is also, you know, a very used model, as in like there are a lot of recolors for this. But I do think that this is one of the nicest ones I've ever seen. So that's really cool. We have the regular version of the Super from C case as well. It's the BMW 507, as well as the Back to the Future hover mode. I thought this was a really, really cool casting. Like there's really a lot of design for, you know, what essentially is like a $1, you know, car, you know, for a $1 purchase. It's not $1 here in Malaysia, unfortunately. It's like 10 Malaysian. 10 Malaysian is kind of like $2, but still, you know, for $2 or $1 or however you will, I think this is really, really well detailed. Now, we're not done yet, because if you've seen any of my old Hot Wheel videos or my previous Hot Wheel videos of everything I've collected this year, you would know that from my first ever case, my first ever case that I ever found, the moment I got into collection, into collecting Hot Wheels, and I'm pretty sure this is the reason why I've stayed for so long. First ever case, Super. Seriously, I'm not even joking. The first ever case I ever found, and there was a Super treasure hunt that was inside. And of course, it is the BMW 507. I do really like the Spectra Flame yellow. It looks more like a gold. Although yellow is my, you know, least liked color, I think it works in this pretty well, right? There's no printing on the front and the back, which is a bit of a shame, but I do enjoy that there is a texture difference, and because the grille, right? The grille is chrome, which does look really nice. The underside of the car, the undercarriage is all, you know, chrome too, which I think works really well, right? With the fact that, you know, this is essentially a gold car. So gold and chrome, yeah, that goes really well together. But yeah, my first ever case. Super treasure hunt. It doesn't get any better than that, does it? Anyway, that is C case of this year. Now, overall, how will I grade C case? Well, in terms of what is new, they added the BMW 507, the Little Red, there's the Mazda MX-5, which I used to own, I sold it off, the blue Hummer H2, and of course with the custom Camaros, right, and then the carryovers from B case, which I'm not going to count. So, honestly speaking, I think C case was actually pretty bad. There were a lot of fantasy castings that I wasn't a fan of. And there were just a lot of, I would say, more experimental castings. So, C case was not the greatest. The carryovers definitely carried that case, but I'm not grading these cases by their carryovers. I'm just grading it by what's new to the case. And unfortunately, C case just isn't that great. I mean, this is everything that I got from C case. You know, that's brand new to C case, right? I mean, honestly, when you look at this, Super's great. Take away the Super, I think the DeLorean is fantastic. I think, you know, the little red is clean too, but there isn't really anything that, you know, stands out in your eyes. So in my opinion, I think C case is going to be the second lowest tier in my mind. Again, I've not made the tier list, but I believe it will be the second lowest tier. All right, friends, moving on to the next case of 2024, D case. Oh man, so again, courtesy of Mr. Diecast, here's a photo of everything that you can see. Mercedes 560 SEC, Godzilla, a lot of good stuff in this case, right? Okay, so let's begin with what I decided to get. We're gonna start off with one of the heavy hitters. I think a lot of people, a lot of collectors love this one. It's the R33, oh dear, R33 Godzilla, right? With that perfect Godzilla livery. Now, again, there is no printing on the front, which is a little sad, but there's printing on the back. And I understand why there's no printing on the front, because this side printing is gorgeous. I think it's absolutely beautiful. This car comes back in end case of 2024 in gray, but I do genuinely think that the white version is superior, just ever so slightly. I do prefer this one. It makes the side livery just stand out a lot more. So I got 2 of these. Actually, that's not true. I got 3. There you go, and 4. Obviously, 1 in the short card version as well. I got really lucky for these because, you know, short cards, they don't really go around in Malaysia that often. You can find them in like small convenience stores here and there, but that's literally based off luck. And I got lucky, right? I found a short card version of this. They're pretty rare here, so that's one for the collection as well. I'll put that outside for a second. But yeah, the Godzillas are fantastic. It's a great start to D-Case, obviously, you know, JDM being really, really popular. I'm not the biggest JDM guy on the planet, I'll be completely honest with you, but I do have a soft spot for 2 JDM cars, one being the Skylines, all of them, and then the Mazda RX-7 as well. Now, talking about JDM, they added another one, right? Honda. So there you go. We've got a long card and a short card. The Honda Civic EG. I'm not a Honda fan, I'll be honest. That being said though, I think it's pretty cool. It's got printing on the fronts as well as the sides. Sorry, the camera's shaking a little bit over there because I kind of hit the pole. I'm holding my phone. The phone's basically hanging. But anyway, this is a pretty cool one though. I mean, I'm not a Honda fan, but I think it looks pretty nice. I do like the color red. There's no printing on the back, unfortunately, but we do have a long version and a short version of this. This case is the reason why I'm even collecting. That and of course Reese. Who's a friend who got me into Hot Wheels. But that's because the Super Treasure Hunt from D-Case is my favorite Super Treasure Hunt ever, honestly. I'm a massive Mercedes collector, Mercedes fan. And seeing that 560 SEC in my favorite color as a Super, I needed to get that. But anyway, I found a lot of D-Cases, you know, basically looking for that Mercedes. I have a lot of these Hondas as well. So I have 4 of them right now, but at one point, I think I had like 20. But I sold the rest, and then basically the money that I got from selling these Hondas, I used them to buy like Hot Wheel models from the previous years, like 2024, like 2023, 2022, all that kind of stuff, so I can, you know, get myself, you know, brushed up on the collection, right? So anyway, moving on with D-Case, here's more stuff I bought, right? So we have the Ram. We have the Alpha GT V6, the Ice Charger. I have 2 of these, by the way. I already opened the other one. And I've got a pair of these Pagani Zondas, which I think are really, really beautiful. I love those wheels. And if I remember correctly, these are brand new to 2024. So that's really cool. Pagani Zonda R right there. Love that combination of gold and maroon. I also did get myself a pair of these, the not the Honda, but the Mazda RX-7s. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the RX-7. I'm not a fan of that rescue livery. But then again, I am a fan of the car itself. And then last but not least, I got a pair of Honda Civic Customs. So again, 2 Civics in this case, right? We've got the retro, and then we've got the EG. It almost feels like a then and now collection that came early in D-Case, but that's some more. Again, I like to collect 2 of most cars because I like to open one and keep one. If you see that I have 2 of them right now, it means I've not opened them yet. I ran out of space for my loose collection really quickly. So I don't really have a lot of space to display my loose cars anymore, so a lot of them are still carded right now, actually. So moving this out of the way, we're not done yet, by the way, with DKs. DKs is a big one. I made a lot of purchases here. Here's 4 more. So we've got the Audi Quattro, right? This is a brand new casting to 2024. It's got printing again on the front and on the sides, none on the back. We've got this Jeep J10, which I think is pretty cool. Once again, no printing on the front and the back, but that's fine because at least the front has texture and it has a different color. It's not a one-tone kind of situation. And then last but not least, the regular treasure hunt from DK's, which is the first regular treasure hunt that I bought. I did not enjoy the regular treasure hunt of case A, B, and C, right? Especially C, that tool pink thing. Oh my goodness. But this is really beautiful. With the white walls, I think it's really nicely decorated and it's really cool. Also, it's not a fantasy casting. So the Custom 53 Chevy is the regular of DK's and I'm a huge fan of that. But anyway, we're not done yet because we're gonna end up with the grand finale for DK's over here, y'all. Hey friends, where do we begin? The last thing of DK's, my absolute favorite thing. We've got the Mercedes 560 SEC. Again, we've got long card versions, we've got short card versions. I got 2 short card versions actually because one of these my friend gave to me, so shout out to Kylie for that. Another one I found in the gas station, I found it at Shell. We've got 2 long cards, 2 short cards. It is my absolute favorite casting of all time. This might be my favorite Hot Wheel casting ever, honestly. It's definitely my favorite Hot Wheels casting and Hot Wheels model of the year of 2024. It's got printing on the side, not on the side, sorry, the back, as well as the front. You know, and I can't ask for anything better. It's my favorite color. It's my favorite model from one of my favorite brands. My favorite brand is still Dodge, but Mercedes is a close second, and I absolutely love it. So here's 4 of them. We'll move that out of the way, long case and short case. We've got, this one is special because this is the first one that I ever found. So that's why this is in a case. And then outside of that, we've got this. This isn't gonna fit in frame. I'm gonna move it slowly. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? There we go. So we've got 1. Okay, can it fit in the frame? We got 1. We've got 2, we've got 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so I'm a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to my favorite things, as you can see. This doesn't even fit in the frame. So far we've seen what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so 10 regular, right? Of course I did, dude. I was not gonna stop. So there you go. This is the dream, right? This is the dream right here. This is probably my favorite thing in my entire collection, right? This alongside this collector RLC Dodge Charger that I have as well. But this thing is the cream of the damn crop, I would say, man. This thing is wonderful. Oh my goodness. And again, one thing I need to let you know is that everything that you see here was hunted. I did not pay secondary market price for zip. Everything I found was on the pegs or in a box. And this is my absolute favorite. So set the scene, right? I'm a brand new collector. I started collecting in December of 2023, and in that month alone I found 2 supers already. I found the Mercedes, which I believe was December 27th, and I found the BMW, which I do believe was like December 1st or December 2nd, something like that. But anyway, look at this. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. This is one of my absolute favorites. So yeah, this, right, we've got the short cards, we've got the long cards, we've got this behemoth of a train as well. Yeah, anyway, D case, how would I rate it? Number one, this is the top. This is my favorite case of the year, okay? Not so fast. There's still a lot of other bangers coming up, but definitely on the highest rank because of this bad boy right here. And it was the first case where the regular treasure and the super treasure were absolute bangers. So yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, y'all, let's calm down for a second, right? We're gonna move on to E-Case. Again, here's a photo of everything that you can see. All right, now let me show you what I bought from E-Case. So we're gonna start off right here. Boom, I got 2 of these, right? It is a Cadillac Project, right? This is the LMP version, I believe, for Le Mans. So 2 of these, one outside, one inside. Obviously, one's outside already, so it's not here. I also got 2 of these Stingrays. I'm a huge fan of C2s. So I have one outside, one is inside. A lot of people aren't a fan of this one though. Honestly, this is like one of the biggest peg warmers ever. And I think that's mainly attributed to the fact that, you know, the entire top chassis part is basically just made out of plastic. Yeah, not the best thing in the world, but hey, it's red and I like the car. Moving on, we've got an Aston Martin DB5. Now, this one I absolutely adore. It's got, you know, once again, printing on the front as well as the back. And I think it's just really, really beautiful. A really gorgeous casting. I think Mattel actually made this a lot of times, which is why it doesn't go off the pegs as fast as I expected it to. But obviously I didn't know that, right? And then of course with the art charger. Now I do not like these kind of, I don't enjoy art cars. I do not enjoy this, this Hot Wheel art car side tag. But hey man, if it's a Dodge Charger, I'm gonna get it. And that's literally the only reason, because I'm a Dodge Charger collector. Some other cars that I got, let's see. There you go. I've got a 2020 Ram and 2 Shelby Daytonas. Now I love this because of that Golf livery, and it's in that accurate color scheme as well, right? Of that baby blue and orange. And obviously I love the car. The Shelby Daytona is fantastic. I'm looking to get a premium version of this. I think they made a premium version of the Shelby Daytona in, I believe, one of those racing collections. Not Boulevard, but I forget what it is. I think it's Racing Day, maybe. But yeah, absolutely love that. I got 2 of those. One for, you know, to keep inside the package and one to open eventually down the line. Last 2 cars I got over here is the regular version of the Treasure, of the Super Treasure Hunt, is the Fiat Modificado, as well as the Jaguar F-Type. So this one's great too. I got 2 of these, and the other one I've already opened, and it's inside my collection. So that's E-Case right there. Again, I will show you everything that came with E-Case. Some of the cars I decided not to get included, again, a recolor of that A-Case Volvo. as well as the Pontiac Aztec, which, I mean, honestly, I don't know what they were thinking. Is that ever gonna sell? Probably not. I still say that on the pegs today, so yeah, that one was out as well. There was the Flippin' Fast as well. Honestly, not the best. I did get a decent amount of new cars from E-Case, but at best, I would say that the case was pretty average. Now, moving on to F-Case of this year. What did I get from F-Case? Well, we're gonna start off with the coupe clips, the highlights, right? So I have 3 of these. 2 are in the packaging right now. 1 I wanna open and display. 1 I wanna keep in the packaging. The third one, ooh, maybe I'll show you the third one. Let me go get it. Third one is right here. It's already on my car keys. So there you go. So there you go, Porsche Hot Wheels. I would say that honestly, the printing is already starting to fade off. I have been using this one a lot. It has been going outside a lot. I'm using it on my actual car keys. But yeah, so that's the third one that I have in my collection over there. So I'll put that on the side. Now moving on from F-Case, I also got a pair of these, right? It's the Ford GT40. We also have the recolor of the Barracuda. I only got one of these, to be honest, because I think that's enough. We have the Audi Avant RS2. I also have 2 of these. Huge fan, by the way, printing on the back as well as the fronts. The other one's already open and in my loose collection. And of course, we have the El Camino. I'll be honest, the El Camino, the Super Treasure Hunt, one of my favorite Super Treasure Hunts of the year. Completely underrated, by the way. A lot of people, especially here in Malaysia, not a fan of this, and that's because, you know, they don't know about this car's existence. They, you know, this car doesn't exist in Malaysia. It never sold in Malaysia, right? But it's a really beautiful car. And then last but not least, we've got this treble decker. And the only reason why I have the treble decker is because my girlfriend is Malaysian, and this actually means something to her because it says Penang, Georgetown on it, which is a town, I think, a state in Malaysia. So yeah, there's that too. I got one of those for her. If not, I would not have gotten one because it basically is a fantasy, and I have, you know, I don't care for that casting very much. But anyway, F-Case. Honestly, F-Case was pretty terrible. You can see everything over here. I think the Super Treasure Hunt was great. The Porsche. The Porsche is great as well. And honestly, I am a huge fan of the Audi and I'm a huge fan of the Fords. But obviously talking to other collectors, what they will tell you is that these 2 cars, they get recolors every other year. They come back all the time. They're really common. And it's true, to be honest, because I do see these cars on the pegs pretty often. So F-Case, I love the Super. I don't even know what the regular, oh, it's a Mustang. It's a Mustang, but I don't collect electric cars, so I don't even have that. The coupe clip's cool, and that's about it. So F-Case, I'm gonna put in bottom tier. All right. What do we have next? After F comes G and G-Case. Okay, yeah, it was a pretty good one too. So let me show you what I got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start with this 6 over here. So again, this is the 6 cars I got from the collection. Again, recolor of the C2 Corvette, which I am a massive fan of. Love this. Again, you guys know this already. My favorite color is red, so that had to be in the collection. Next up, we've got this one right here, the Jaguar MK1. Now, my granddad actually had one of these when he was super young. Or, well, not when he was super young, but a long time ago. So it was really cool collecting, you know, what I like to call my granddad's car. So he's had one of those. We've got this right now. I'm not a fan of fantasy, but I am a fan of Minecraft. And this isn't the first time that they've made this casting, but this is the first time I've seen this casting because I'm a brand new collector, right? I started in 2023 in December. So this is the first iteration of the Minecraft that I've ever seen. And yeah, dude, I've obviously had to pick one up. Like I am a Minecraft fan. I grew up playing that game, right? And then we've got a pair of these 911s as well. I love them very much. I actually have a third one that's already open and I actually custom the wheels on it. So it doesn't even have these regular wheels on anymore. The one that I actually have actually has real riders on it. Again, it's got printing on the back. I'm not sure if you can really see that, unfortunately. The side and the front, which is a triple print, which is always pretty cool. Minecart, and then last but not least, this thing. I hate Volkswagens. My friends know that, and that's why I have one. I did not buy that. It was given to me. I wouldn't really call it a gift, but Yeah, that's that. Okay. Anyway, moving on from GKs, I did get myself a pair of Dodge Dart, and this one is gorgeous. I can't wait for the 2025 Super Treasure Hunt version when this comes in purple. It is beautiful. I did not like the recolor that came later on in the year. It looks more like a puke green, but this mint one, really, really nice. Moving those to the side, we got 3 of these, right? So again, Ford Ranger Raptor with the HKS livery. We saw this in BKs early on in the year, right? It came in black, now it's back in blue. I do slightly prefer the black, but I do like the blue as well. We got 3 of those because I did find a decent amount of G cases. Moving on from those cars, what else do we have? We got the regular, the Super, which is one of my favorite supers of the year, which is the Audi 90 Quattro. Unfortunately, I do not have the Super Treasure Hunt, so I might need to buy that. Again, everything that you see here, I have not bought on the secondary market for resale. This is everything I've gotten from the pegs themselves. So 3 of these, really beautiful. I do love this casting very much. Honestly, if it had printing on the back, that would be, that would seal the deal. But again, it's already got the top, the sides and the front, which is already more than I could ask for. So you got 3 of those. I do want the Super. It's not my second favorite Super of the year, but it's definitely up there with like the top 5, I would say. So 3 of those, right? And then obviously we've got 3 of the Skyline recolors, and then of course we've got 3 of these BMW M3 wagons. Now this is a real standout. I would say that this is up there with my favorite models of the 2024 year. The DK's Mercedes, the DK's Godzilla are among my favorites, and maybe even that Ranger Raptor might be up there in the top 10. I don't know, there's a lot of good cars coming up as well, but this is definitely in that top 10, probably even in the top 5. Again, no printing on the fronts, not even on the back, but it doesn't really matter. I think that this is really well executed, really, really beautiful. I'm a massive fan of wagons. As you can see, I found at least 3 G cases because I have 3 of like everything, right? So let's move on to the sides because we're not entirely done with GKs yet. I've got 2 more things to show you, and I think you guys know what is coming. So we've got a 4th. I love this casting. Okay, I'm not gonna hoard it as much as I hoard the Mercedes, but I do love this very much. And of course, I only have 1 Honda Civic Si. This thing is ridiculously hard to find. Seriously, I only have 1. It's got printing on the front and the back. To be fair, I had another, but I sold it because it sold for a lot. Like I bought it for 10 Malaysian, I sold it for 35, so that's more than 3 times. But so far I only have 1, and I would like to get another one. Honestly, I kind of regret selling the first one, but anyway, I like to get another one to get outside for the case. So this is gonna be inside, one's gonna be outside as well. I mean, I think there's enough here to trade. I mean, if you're watching this video, you're watching in Malaysia, if you want anything from my collection, like maybe, I don't know, one of these Audis or one of those Skylines or whatever it is, you can let me know, hit me up. And yeah, that's G case right there. But anyway, G case, what a fantastic case, right? There's the BMW, the Porsche, Skyline, Civic, Audi, great Super, by the way. The regular Treasure Hunt, the track wagon was terrible though. And of course there was the Dodge Dart Ram Charger, and that Ford Ranger. I think G was great. I think it's up there with B in the 2nd highest tier of 2024 in terms of cases. Anyway, let's move on to the next case. All right, my friends, what comes after G? That will be H. Again, here's a photo of everything that you can expect from that H case. Okay, now let's see what I got from that case. Only 5 cars. So there you go. I can put everything in the frame right here. We'll go through this super quickly. I got a pair of these Mazda RX-3 Tunes, which I think are pretty cool. It's a brand new casting of 2024. It came in a recolor in N case. It comes in white later on in the year, which I think is pretty cool. We've got the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. I only have 1. Honestly, loving the Porsche as much as I do, I should probably get a second one just to get it outside. But so far, I only have 1. We've got the Chevelle SS, which I think is also really cool of a casting. I do like Muscle Mania, and I love my muscle cars. And last but not least, honestly, underrated. I see this on the pegs all the time. It's the 63 Studebaker Champ. Beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I have 2 of these. The other one is already out, which is already in my loose collection, and this is one that I'm keeping inside, and it comes in a recolor, and I think it's equally as nice in that recolor as well. I think it comes later on in N case in a white and blue, and I think it's just so, It's classy, man. This is really classy. Not to mention that this is also a really heavy model. It has some genuine weight to it, which I think is pretty cool. But anyway, again, overall, I don't think this was a really good case. Let's have a look at, this is H, right? H case once again. The carryovers are nice, but we don't count that. In terms of the Super Treasure and the regular Treasure, I think that they're pretty abysmal. One thing to let you know, I did actually get the Super from H case, by the way, the gasser. I traded it, so that's gone. And then they also brought back the Mazda MX-5, which had no printing on the front and back, which I thought was pretty bad. They brought the McLaren. There was a really hideous recolor of that Corvette convertible, C6, sorry. They brought back the Greenwood Corvette too, which again, just not a nice recolor. And that purple Hummer H2, right? So overall, not a fan. Not a fan of this case. I'm putting it at the bottom with F. J case. So J case is up next. What did I get from J? Well, boom. Let's start with this. 6 cars right here, okay? So we've got the Mercury Cougar Eliminator, one of 2. The other one is already open and in my loose collection. And then we also have a Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution or Pajero Evolution. Again, I have 2. The other one is already open and in my collection. I kind of regret not opening this one though, because this one actually has defects in the card. Should have opened this one instead. That was a mistake on my part. This is also the regular of the Super, by the way. Love the Super. I think it's really nice, but I never got that one. 2 McLarens. By the way, another model which I believe Mattel has reused over and over and over. But again, I did not know this is the first time I've ever encountered getting a McLaren P1. So this is the first variation of P1 in my collection, and I do genuinely like it. It's got printing on the front and the back, and I just love the car in general. So one for inside and one for out. And then we've got this one right here, Mazda RX-7. This is my favorite version, one of my favorite JDM cars ever. I wished that they actually just at least, painted the grille black. That would have been perfect. But instead, they added this Project U thing, which honestly, I'm not a fan of. It looks like a toilet paper company. I don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. But if this came in a plain white, with printing on the front and the back, I think it would have been a better sellout. But yeah, I did get 2, one for in and one for out. That's not done though, because we did see a Charger in this case, right? So I have 2 of these Fast and Furious tuned Chargers. If this came in a non-tuned version and this livery with the black and the red, that would be probably one of my favorite castings of the year. But unfortunately, this is tuned. Still get it though. It's a Charger, so I'm gonna get it. And then last but not least, Pagani. Again, this came in a recolor, right? Because this was we initially saw this in D case. It came in gold and maroon, which I do think is my favorite. Well, it definitely is my favorite. I only have 1 of these and 2 of that, so yeah, but I thought it was pretty cool to add to the collection to get another variation of that as well. But overall, JK's was a little bit of a miss. There was a lot of potential, but I just wasn't a fan. The Super Treasure was the Pajero, which is okay. I mean, I liked it, to be honest. It's more than okay. McLaren is nice. But it's not outstanding in my opinion. The RX-7 was a bit of a miss. I think, if they took away the side printing, they just made it clean, I would have loved that. That would have been better. And of course, the Charger, again, if they didn't make it a tune, if they just made it like a regular Charger, I would have absolutely loved that. I'm not the biggest fan of the bright yellow and the Pagani as well. I just prefer the other recolors. So overall, I think J case, although not the worst here, I'm gonna say second lowest tier. It's kind of carried by, I would say, the RX-7 and the P1. Okay, K case 2024. This is everything that you can get from the case, and honestly, they added a bunch of actual cars to this one, which was great because the last 2 previous cases, in my opinion, right, which was H and J, not the greatest in terms of what was brand new to the case, but I believe that K brought a lot of bangers. So where do we begin? Let's go with Bumblebee. So I got 2 Bumblebees over here. One's in the case, one's out the case. This is honestly going for a lot in terms of the resale market. You get one for, 10 Malaysian. It can resell for 30 to 35. I'm genuinely surprised by how much this resells for. Again, I don't like Volkswagen, so that's probably why I don't really see much of a value in this, but there is that, little hint, that little Easter egg that you can see Bumblebee's face at the bottom, if you can see it over there. I've gotten this car many times. I've had 7 in my collection at one point. I sold all of them and I've only kept 2. And honestly, these are for sale too. I'm just not really that interested. But yeah, a lot of people really like that. It's like the first. I might keep one because it's significant in the sense that this is the first thing that signifies the collaboration between Mattel and Hasbro for this. But that's it. Like in terms of like, it's kind of like a historical Hot Wheel, but it's not a casting that I'm a fan of. So let's move on to the rest of K. So we've got some Porsches, some Mazdas, and some Kowloons. Now, again, I'm not a fan of fantasies, but this is my favorite I can tell you right now, this is my favorite fantasy. I'm trying to think of anything else that came out in the case after this one. I don't think so. This is my favorite fantasy of the year, I'm pretty sure. They've got the names of the designers, by the way. That's another Easter egg right on the top there. Those are designer names, which I think are really cool. Designers at Hot Wheel, at Mattel, right? So I got two of those. And then we've got the 96 Porsche Carrera, which I think is beautiful. Again, no printing on the front. I'm trying to showcase that. There you go. No printing on the front, which is a little bit sad. Honestly, they should have taken away the printing on the hood, put it in the lights. Way better, right? They got it on the sides though. They got it on the sides and the back as well, so it's a triple. But they kind of missed the mark on that one, I would say. Printing on the front would have been way nicer. But again, I'm a huge fan of the model. And this is where my, I guess, novice collector energy comes through, right? Because they actually made different variations of this. In previous years, there were versions where this was completely plain and they only had printing on the back and the front. And honestly, if I knew that that existed at the time, I would have never bought this. I genuinely do not like I don't like the Magnus Walker, like, crap that's on it. It actually looks like a saltwater fish. Like, it reminds me of Dory from Finding Nemo. Not a fan. If only I knew at the time when I bought these that, you know, variations of this actually existed where it was clean, there was no side graphics, there was only printing on the front and the back, would have never picked this up. This came in Q case of this year in another recolor of white, and I just didn't bother buying it. I've seen it a few times on the pegs, and I just left it there. And then we've got this one, the 787B, right? This is fantastic. This is the super of K case, and I love this. I never got the super of this, but I freaking love it. It's beautiful. There you go. So it's got printing on the front and the sides. Great looking one. Got two of those as well, and obviously each of these, you know, one's gonna be open, one's gonna be kept inside, including the Porsche. It was a bit of a mistake buying that. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be, you know, at least I thought the resale on this was gonna be pretty good. It's not. But then again, I don't really buy cars to resell them, but it would have been a nice little added bonus, I guess, to add into collection. But anyway, moving on from K case. Here's one. This actually has printing on the front and the back. The only issue is that this is tuned. That being said though, I think it's pretty cool. I got a pretty decent sized tune collection now. And then here's three of some really nice ones actually. So 1, 2, 3. It's the Liberty Walk. So this is the beginning of the Then and Now collection, right? So the R35 comes on later. But for now, we've got these right here. And I am a classic car fan. It's got printing on the front and the sides. Really happy to add this to collection. We've got 3 of these. This one's definitely going to be the one that I'm going to open because it has a creased J-hook, unfortunately. So that's more of K-Case. K-Case has, I would say, a lot of cars, a lot of bangers. My favorite car from K-Case is this one over here. It's the Shelby Cobra. Again, this one's the one. This is definitely going to be outside. That's just not, that's not it. But yeah, Shelby Cobra. 427, I think is beautiful. Rolling metal series. It's got printing on the sides and the fronts as well. Really cool. Honestly, I'm gonna open this one. I'm gonna keep these 2 inside. No, I'm gonna open 2, keep 1. What I plan to do is switch out the wheels, probably. Put on some real riders on those, you know? So that's really cool. Got 3 of those. I'm not done with KKs yet though. KKs, we end up with 3 more. So we've got 2 Mustangs. Let's put the reds and the yellows together. How about that? So we've got 2 Mustangs. I think it's really peculiar that, you know, these 2 cars were in the same case. They are very similar to each other. They're both the same color as well. One's a little better though, I think, right? This one is a triple print. So this has printing on the top, back, fronts. Very little on the fronts, but it's still 3 sides nonetheless. And then of course we've got this one, right? The 92 Ford Mustang from the Then and Now collection, which has it on the fronts and the sides. I can't remember. No, this is not the Then and Now. This is the 90s. This is the Then and Now. And I do believe that the Now version comes in Q case in that dark horse. We've got the Bolide as well. I only have 1. I had 2, but I traded 1 away. It comes in a recolor in QKs in red, which I do prefer. But anyway, here's one. And then we've got two of these Acura NSXs. I love this, by the way. Again, like I said at the start of the video, I was really surprised to see that this was not selling. I thought this would be a really popular casting, and it wasn't. A lot of people were leaving it behind, and I didn't know why. Again, this is just novice collector energy. I didn't know that they made like a million recolors of this. Like, this came in pink and purple and blue. There was a super of this, you know, like 5 years ago and all that kind of stuff. I didn't know that. This is the first time I've ever encountered the NSX. I got two of them, one for in the case and one for out the case. I think one is slightly damaged on the back, right? Yeah, this one has creases on the back. So this is the one that I'm going to be opening. And then the other one is going to be left inside the case. So that's K-Case for you. Again, let's have a look at everything that was in this case. I thought it was pretty damn strong, honestly. They had some really good cars like the Liberty Walk. They've got the Porsche. A lot of people like Bumblebee, the Cobra, the 787B was a great little super as well. It's a great case, and honestly, I would give it. Ooh, I don't think it's as good as G, and I don't think it's as good as whatever else as B, right? I think B and G are up there, so I'm gonna put this in mid tier, a little over mid tier. Again, I don't know how I'm gonna be doing this. I think it's better than A for sure. So there might be 6 tiers, and this might be in the 3rd highest tier. So there you go. That's K-Case of 2024. Okay, L-Case is up next, and we're gonna start off with, you know, my absolute favorite, honestly. This is one of my favorite castings of the year. So this is up there with the Mercedes 560 SEC, the Godzilla, the BMW M3 wagon. Yeah, this is definitely up there, and that is the regular of the super right here. It is indeed the 77 Pontiac Firebird TA. This was the super of L-Case. 2nd favorite super of the year. I don't have the super of this, unfortunately. I only have 2. One that I'm gonna have it protected, and one that I'm gonna open. And I absolutely love this. They made many different variations of this, but I genuinely think that this is the nicest one, right? Printing on the top, on the hood, as well on the sides, with the Firebird on it, of course, the screaming chicken, as they call it. I love this, and I will buy the super treasure if I never find the super treasure of this. And I'm so gutted because there's a pharmacy that's pretty close. It's like 10 minutes from my house. They restocked an L-Case, and there actually was a super, but I didn't get it. And I wasn't there. Someone found it. I found this on Facebook. Like, I was in a Facebook group chat, and then people were like, oh my god, I found a super. And I was like, oh my god, I know this location. This is a pharmacy near my house. I missed it. This is my 2nd favorite super of the year, just behind the Mercedes. So we'll start off with that from L-Case. We've got 2 of those. This is one of my girlfriend's favorites. This is Giselle's favorite. It's the BMW M3. So what's super cute is that the reason why this is also in a protector was because my girlfriend put it in here. So this is one of her favorites. It's the BMW M3. I do think it's really nice, but I wish that there was printing on the front and the back. The fact that there's no printing on the front and the back is a huge blow. They decided to go for the sides and the top as well. And honestly, what a waste of ink this is, in my opinion. If they just got rid of that, keep the hood clean, you know, painted the grill with some lights, I think it'll be so much better. But I do like the casting, right? I do like the casting. I do like the BMW M3, especially this generation. I don't think it's E30. Is it E30? I'm not too sure on that one, but I do genuinely like this casting. So we'll add that as well. We had my favorites in L-Case. We've had Giselle's favorites in L-Case. Now let's talk about the rest of L-Case that I bought. Not a lot over here. Only 5 more cars to showcase to you guys over here. Got the Pagani, right? The Utopia, which I always mistake for the Emola, by the way. But it is the Utopia. And then I've got a pair of Ford Maverick Customs. Again, like the Studebaker, very heavy. There's weight to this, right? Triple print too, I believe. Printing on the front, sides, back, right? I think the back one also does count as a side printing though, so they were kind of smart with that one. But I think this is beautiful. Honestly, one of my favorite. I would say top 10, definitely top 10 castings of 2024 as well. So it's up there with the Mercedes, up there with the Godzilla, the BMW M3 wagon, the Pontiac. So yeah, 2 top 10s in L-Case, which is a great start. We've got the Koenigsegg Jesko, which came to this case as well. There's a recolor in orange that comes later on in the year, as well as the 2nd version of the Audi Avant RS2, right? So this came out in F-Case, right, in red. I do prefer the red, but this is pretty nice as well. Let's see everything else from L-Case I didn't get. So they released a recolor of the F-Type, didn't get that. RX-7, didn't get that. The Volkswagen ID Buzz, didn't want that. And the Toyota Tacoma. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Toyota Tacoma, but I'm not a fan of those wheels. They have brown wheels on that, and I just thought it wasn't. I thought it wasn't nice at all. Now moving on from L-Case. Oh wait, I need to grade. I need to grade L-Case. L-Case was okay. It was decent. I'll put it up there with K. I think it was a pretty good case. Now moving on to M-Case. Oh, I got a lot of M-Case. I got more from M-Case than I even expected. So let's start with the JDM stuff, because there's a lot of JDM and M-Case, right? So here you go. I've got two 180 SXs, one GR86, which is a brand new casting for this year. It has printing on the front, which is cool, but I'm not a fan of that Hot Wheel printing though, to be honest. We've got the 180. I'm a huge fan of the 180. This is really nice. I thought that this was really, really clean. The red, the blue, and the white. It's almost patriotic. And then we've got three of these Hondas, one of which I found yesterday. So this one is like brand sticking. Well, one of these three are brand sticking new. And then we've got the tuned version of the Liberty Walk as well. This is the one that everybody wants to go for. This is also a brand new casting, but also it's an homage to the regular version, which came out I think 2 years ago in the Hot Wheel lineup as well. So yeah, a lot of JDM stuff in M-Case. This were the cars that I got. I have three of these, but one of which, like this one, is going to be for resale for sure. But yeah, everything else I'm just going to keep. So I'll add that to the collection. So I'll move that to the side, because I do have a lot of MK stuff. Let's have a look at this one again, because I think a lot of people are a fan of this tuned version. Got myself a yellow Viper. Got two of these. One is already opened and in my loose collection. And then we've got the recolor of the Ram 1500 as well. So I got one of those. Then we have two Bugatti Chirons. I do really like the colors in this case, by the way. Like, they're different shades of blue, the different shades of yellow, red. I think they work really well. Actually, I like to call M-Case the blue case. There's so many different kinds of blues. Let's talk about that. So, blue, get rid of this one. This was blue too, right? So we'll add that. That was blue. No, that's the same car. And then we'll add the GR. So that's all blue, right? So we'll put all the blues to the side. I don't know if you want to count the Honda. The Honda is more of like a turquoise, but we can add that. It is a shade, right? So a lot of blue. Then talking about more blue, we've got two of these. So I bought two Cadillac Le Mans racers, I guess. GTP hypercars is what they're called. Really cool, and also it's blue. So we'll add that on to that blue collection, right? I got two, one for inside, one for outside. Obviously, I've got two blacks, got two blues of these. And the last couple of stuff I got from M-Case included the Ford GT40, the GMC Cyclone, and the Ram Charger. Only got one this time. I do want to get a second one. The only issue is that these cars are really cheap. I guess muscle cars are not a huge thing in Malaysia. So instead of getting one for like, 10 Malaysian, I could probably get one in the secondary market for like 7 or 6. So I'm waiting to find the right time and the right place. I will get this. I will get a second version for a cheaper price, because I do love this car. But I just don't want to spend, the primary market price for this when the secondary market price for this is actually cheaper. And then, of course, we've got the Ford GT40, which is fantastic. And then we have a short card, pretty rare version of the GMC Cyclone. Again, printing on the back, which is nice. But I feel like printing on the front would have really sealed the deal, right? The sides, kind of meh, but that is what it is. But anyway, M-Case. Let's talk about M-Case. Was it a good case? Was it a bad case? I think M-Case was pretty nice. Right, a lot of blue. Once again, Liberty Walk was great. 180 SX was great, which, by the way, is the regular of the Super, which is one of the highest profile Supers of that 2024 catalog, right? Because it's JDM. Chiron was fantastic. I did love the Chiron. I love the color of the Chiron. GMC was great. Viper was great. The Ram was great. The Ford GT40 was great. Overall, I think it was a good case. I will put it up there with L and K. So 3 really strong cases in a row. Pretty nice streak, I would say. Okay, N case is up next, and there's already a little bit leaking over here, so let's just drag them down, right? But obviously, I'm going to show you a photo of everything in N case as well from Ministry of Diecast. Again, thanks for all those photos, by the way. He doesn't know that I have them, that I took a screenshot of all of them, but shout out to him nonetheless. It was a great case, fantastic case. We're going to start off with my favorite thing from N case, and also top 10 for sure, right? Top 10 models of the 2024 season. And that is indeed this Dakar, right? This Porsche Dakar Rally, which I think is absolutely gorgeous. It's funny because not a lot of collectors really like this. I think there's a little bit of, I don't know, like they like the licensing or the painting's a bit off, or I don't know. I hear a lot of critiques about this car. And I honestly, like, dude, for like $2, for $1, depending on where in the world you are, this is quality in my opinion. I really enjoy it. I love this casting. And I just love Porsche in general. So we've got a short case version, and I've got two right here. One I'm gonna open up, and then one is locked inside that case. You can tell that among my favorite cars, I will always put them in protectors if they are among my favorites. So yeah, that one's over there, so that's pretty cool. We'll move the Porsches aside, starting off end case really strong. Rest of end case, we've got more Porsches, right? We've got the recolor of the 904. We've got a Huracan STO. I've got a pair of those. So we've got two Huracans. We've got the then and now, the 4 GTs come back as well, which is pretty cool. And then we've got 2 Audis. So let's talk about end case, right? So we've got 2 of these Lamborghini Steratos. Is it? Yeah, like Huracan Steratos, not STOs, but yeah, Steratos. Really, really cool. They've got printing on the front, top, right? None on the back, just, yeah, front and sides, which is pretty nice. The only thing I will get from Hot Wheel Dirt, I don't think I'll get anything else from that side quest, from that side collection, whatever theme. Here's the recolor of the Mazda RX-3. Again, I got this like a day ago with that Honda Civic Custom, so that's pretty cool. We've got a short card version of the Porsche 904 Carrera GTS. Pretty rare. I don't have a long card version of this, just a short card. And I think that's pretty cool. I think I have one of the gray and long and one of the red and short. So it's pretty peculiar, that one. We've got 2 of these Ford GT races as well as the Audi A7. Again, this is a brand new casting of 2024, but it is a recolor. We saw the red one in D case, and now it comes back in black. And this will be the super of A case of 2025. So looking forward to that. So I got 2 of those. And moving on, we've got 3 BMW M3 wagons. I love these. You know I love these, man. You know I love these. So they're really, really beautiful. This one I got today, like a couple hours ago. I don't know why I got a third. I just wanted to. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm going to get it. That's capitalism for you, isn't it? But yeah, 3 of those. 1 in, 1 out. Third one, maybe I'm going to customize the wheels on it. And then here we have the regular. I don't really collect regular supers that often, but this one was great, the DeLorean. So that was added to the collection. We've got the recolor of the Studebaker, yes, Studebaker champ. Again, beautiful. I love the red one just a little more, but this is really clean as well. And again, I would say this or the Kowloon bus are among my favorite fantasies. I don't buy a lot of fantasies, but I do think that the small block is really, really cool. It reminds me of a Charger a little bit. It genuinely reminds me of a Charger a little bit. So really happy to add this to collection as well. But of course, when it comes to end case, man, there's one car that takes the cake, and it's not the Super for sure, because the end case Super, that Solero GT is one of the worst things I've ever seen. But yeah, there's only one case. When you think about end case, I mean, right here, right? We saw it earlier, and they're back. Godzilla. I got 1 in the case. I've got 2 out the case, as you can see over here, and it is gorgeous. I do prefer the white, but this is a close second. Same variation, same blueprint, right? It's got printing on the front. It's got printing on the sides, none in the front. Printing on the back, printing on the sides, none in the front. I do think that Godzilla is a little less visible here, though. Don't you think? A little less visible. That being said, though, beautiful. So I got 3 of those, 1 case, 1 out, and that is end case, done and dusted. Only 2 more cases to go, ladies and gentlemen, so let's do it. Here we go. P case. I do not have a photo from the Ministry of Diecast for this one because it's still really fresh in my mind. I took those photos so I could remember what was in everything that was in the case. By the way, I didn't grade end case, by the way. End case is high. I'm gonna put it, end case. I'm gonna put it with D. Yeah. Honestly, it's great. There were so many things I bought from that case. It was just absolutely fantastic. But anyway, we're going to start with P case right now. So P case, we got the recolor of the Dodge, right? The Charger. So it came in black earlier in J case. And now we've got silver and black as well. The first one was black and red. We've got a couple of these Super Trofeos, which is the super of P case, by the way. What a wonderful case this one is. It's got printing on the front and the sides, none on the back. I do not have the Super, unfortunately, but I do have 2 of these, which I think are really cool. We've got the Ford GT, which I think is really, really awesome as well. No printing on the back, but there is printing on the sides and the top, which basically is the same thing, to be honest, right? But this is a really nice casting, and I think it's really clean as well. No frills, just the car, no liveries, nothing like that, just some stripes on it, which is really cool. I'm a huge Dodge fan, Dodge collector. Again, I think this would be nicer without the Hot Wheel logo, you know? I want it to be a little bit more realistic, like something you would see on a racetrack or on the road. I do appreciate that they added, you know, lights as well, headlights, but nothing on the back. Pretty cool casting. Pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's the best, but I am a Dodge collector and I do love that. Then we've got the 94 Toyota Supra as well, tuned version, right? Now this case, two Supras, it's a tuned version, the regular version. It kind of caught me off guard. I was like, wow, really? Like 2 Supras in the same case? Yeah, collectors and resellers alike are gonna be going crazy for this one, and go crazy they did. I will tell you, man. This case was hard to find. This case was really hard to find. Anyway, let's go with the next one here. We've got 2 McLarens, R35, RX-7. There was a lot of JDM in this case, so I'm gonna try and fit everything in because there's not much left that I have to showcase. So we've got 2 of these as well. So we have the McLaren P1, which came in a recolor. We saw one in like that baby blue, and now it's back in maroon, and I do prefer this version. I think it's a lot nicer. We also have the R35. I got 2 R35s. One is in the casing, one is outside the casing from the Then and Now collection. I would like to get more of these as well, but then again, beggars can't be choosers. I don't think there are a lot of them to go around. We have this 94 Supra, right? Not 94, I don't know what year this actually is, but this Toyota Supra is fantastic, isn't it? It's got printing on the front, and it's got details on the side. You can't really see it. I don't think the camera's gonna really show it to you, but there is a little bit of decal on that door as well, close to the B pillar. But yeah, this is a really beautiful one. Top 10. I'll make another video talking about my favorite, you know, models of the year, and this is definitely going to be making a comeback. And last but not least, we have another recolor of the Mazda RX-7. So there you go. Project U, again, you know, no printing on the front, which is a bit of a shame. I really wanted that black, but it's not there. But at least you get to see a little bit of the printing on the back. I don't think the camera can pick it up too well, but yeah, that's another one there. A lot of JDM, right? We've got double the Supras, we've got GTRs, we've got Skylines, and of course, you know, if you want to talk about carryovers, that Skyline R33 comes back in that case, right? The Skyline from N case, it comes back in P case as well, which, you know, yeah, I think a lot of people have agreed that this is one of the best cases of all time, and of course of the year as well. Overall, I will put PKs at the top. Yeah, I'll put PKs at the top along with N and along with D. I think PKs is really strong, and that's really attributed down to this Supra right here, man. The Supra is gorgeous. Anyway, last but not least, Q case, the final case of the year. Pretty small. I only have 3 cars. That's all I've ever bought. So we've got one McLaren F1, which I think is really cool. It's got printing on the back and the front, which is, you know, what I love. And then we have 2 Mustang Dark Horses. Again, pretty rare one because this has printing on the front, the back, and the top. Look at that. So that is wonderful. I love this. And obviously I have one in the case as well. And again, one of my favorite castings of the year, top 10. Again, I don't know what it is yet, but definitely like these 2 are gonna be in the top 10. And then early on, we are talking about the Porsche from P case, right? That's gonna be a top N case, sorry. It's gonna be top 10 as well. So yes, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. But that is basically my entire Hot Wheel collection from the entire 2024 catalog. Wow, that was a lot. You can probably hear my voice, and I'm getting more and more tired as the video goes on because this is long. But anyway, guys, how would I rank Q case? I think Q case is kind of meh. This should be coming out, I don't know, in a couple of months for you guys in the States. Alongside this were the Cybertruck. Again, I hate Teslas. I hate electric cars. Not going to collect that. There was a recolor of Bumblebee that comes in more of a gold variation. Recolors of that, you know, that Porsche from KK's, that Magnus Walker thing. Nothing too special in terms of Q case. These were my favorites. There was also a Subaru WRX, but that had no printing on the front, so I wasn't really too interested in that either. But anyway, hope you guys have a great day. I would put Q case mid tier. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today, guys. Let me know down in the comments below. Did you enjoy this video? Did you watch all of it? But that is 1 year of collection in my Hot Wheel hobby. I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, wash your hands, and leave the thumbs up if you like the video. Peace!